Tampines. Who is from Tampines? Good. My colleagues have talked about the secrecy of your votes. I just want to add one sentence. My eldest brother died in the tour of duty to enhance democracy in Singapore. I will pledge my life to make sure your vote is secret. I have to do a simple correction to Mr. Kwan. Lees no longer say that you will regret if you vote opposition. He said you will repent if you vote opposition. What does this mean? His son has said that the ministers and MPs are the public servant of Singapore. Now it has been elevated into the gods of Singapore. Do you want that? Do you agree with that? Now, I know this election is going to be very hot. Right? Very, very hot. But we can take it. My trucks, my preliminary trucks, my trucks, the posters have been torn off by somebody else. I do not know who. You say one, I don't dare to say. And somebody told me someone has been throwing stones at PAP posters in Tampines.
Not me, not me, not me.
Not you, huh?
Not me, not me.
But please, we can afford to lose the election, but we cannot afford to lose our dignity. So I would urge my supporters not to throw stones at them. Please. Right? We must win in style. Before I go into the HDB, my colleague Spencer have talked about the cost plus. I will explain deeper what is cost plus. Before I go into that, I have to respond to Brigadier General Mr. Tan Chuan Chin, right? Candidate of the parade, right? Okay, right. He has been saying a lot of things lately, huh? And he mentioned my name. That's why I have to respond to him. Right? Before nomination day, he has challenged opposition party, especially NSP, not just stop or wayang, but go and contest in Marine Parade. Do you see that report? Yeah. But when we decided we really want to contest and we sent Nicosia into Marine Parade, what did he say? He said, I wayang again. This is all Pekong. Right? Hey, he wins, tails, I lose.
Tell him only SF wayang.
I believe, he's a general, alright? I believe that a general like Mr. Tan would not want to be just a paper general, right? And definitely he won't want to hide behind a GRC, hide behind a heavy egg in a Marine Parade, GRC, right? If he is really dying for a fight, he should have offered himself to stand in the SMC. Right? So I do not know who is the one who is wayanging. In Chinese we said in Chinese, Hu Jia Hu Wei. Now I have stated very clearly in our first Marine Parade rally why we want to go to Marine Parade. This is a strategic reason. We want to extract accountability from SM Goh Chok Tong. Right? For what? For his past bad policies, for turning Singapore from a country to a company. And for increasing ministerial pay to billions. Do you want accountability from Goh Chok Tong? So you know who to vote? NSP. Now BG Tan also said that NSP doesn't know the people in Marine Parade. I have to ask our dear General, as a rookie candidate in Marine Parade, how much does he know about Marine Parade voters? Has he got every dose? I guess most of even the incumbent PAP MPs don't really knock every door. I don't believe he knocks every door. All right. Let's not be distracted by the general. Right? We come to the real issues. Right? Anyone from Marine Parade? Who will you vote? Thank you. I am honors from economics. I study honors of economics in NUS during the early days of 1990s. When Goh Chok Tong comes about with his policies of GST, asset inflation, I call, not enhancement, he asset inflation. GST, asset inflation, ERPs, COEs, you name it, you have it. I do not agree. But I do not have the courage to stand up. But this time round, I managed to convince my colleagues like Janet, Spencer, Nicosia, to stand up for Singapore. I really hope that you, as the voters, will do your part, take up your courage, and cross next to the star, the rising star. Now, we are having a PAP system which is sucking every drop of blood we have in the name of affordability. I will tell you why. Right from healthcare, transport to housing, you are being sucked. All of us being sucked. They keep telling us we can afford. By what? By what means? Using your CPF. You don't use your money, so you don't feel the pain. You pay through CPF, your medicine, your healthcare. You pay your housing without a single cent. Mountbatten is very proud of that. No, you don't need to get money out of your pocket to pay for your housing. But this is a false sense of affordability, because it is, after all, our money. Right, our money. Now, he says, Mountbatten go a step further and says that the length of your mortgage, your HDB mortgage, doesn't really matter. Does it? 30 years doesn't matter. 40 years doesn't matter. Maybe you have to pay 100 years next time. Right? And he says that 30 years mortgage will make it cheaper for you to pay each month. Right? But is it true? Is it true? Of course not. Why? My dear minister, do you know that by having a 30 years mortgage instead of 5, 10 or 20s, we are going to pay more compounded interest? Is it right? We are paying a lot more of interest. More, 10 years more from our mortgage, we pay double the interest. I think he can count. I hope so. Or else we will be in trouble. Do you know that we will not be able to retire if we have a 30 years mortgage? Think about it. All our CPF money will be used to pay for our expensive HDB flat. You marry at 30 years old, by 60 years old, you haven't finished your mortgage payment. And you cannot lose your job. With the FT policy right now, who can guarantee you have a job for 30 years? Right? 30 years, you cannot lose your job. By the time you are 60 years old, where is your money for retirement? The CPF is kosong. So, Mountbatten have a solution for you. Don't worry, huh? Come to the best one. Mountbatten have a solution for you. He says you can sell your flat for retirement. Do you want that? No. Do you want to sell a flat for retirement? No. Raise your hand and tell Mountbatten, we do not want to sell a flat for retirement. Now, if we continue to let Mountbatten continues his pricing mechanism, we are in trouble. Our future generation will be in trouble. Why? Pegging a new HDB flats to resale market prices, you know what will happen? We will definitely end up with a 40, 50 years or even 100 years mortgage. Why? Anyone with just a bit of common sense will know asset inflation is always much higher than normal inflation. Our flats can raise by 25% in a year. Our inflation rate is only less than 5%. Right? So what will happen if you continue this pricing mechanism? The new flats will continue to rise according to the inflation rate as well. Your income will not grow at that rate. You will forever you are forever running behind the truck, and the truck keeps speeding in. For the young people of Singapore, I have this very important message for you. This is not the way you want your life to be. Yeah. Forever enslaved by the mortgage of 30 years. I will cite some figures. You will get very boring, but it's very interesting. As compared to 1990s, our income has only increased by 2 times, but HDB resale flats have increased by 4 times. That is why my father paid 5 years mortgage. I paid 20 years. You are paying 30 years. God bless you. Right? Moreover, according to some reports, this is very recent reports, prices for new HDB flats have increased almost 70% for the past 6 years. But our median income has only grown by 37.7%. And worse, what about those without a degree, a lower income group? Their income only grew by 22.6% for the last 10 years. It's not for the last 6 years. We took 10 years to increase our income by 37% or 22%. But the flat prices have raised by 70% within 6 years. How are our children, our grandchildren, our future generation going to afford a simple roof over their heads if we let this government continues to do this? No way. You have to vote for Now, NSP are not a no-solution party. Someone told me that. We have provided a solution. Right. NSP have come up with a more viable pricing mechanism for new solution. New solution party. Okay. We are a new solution party. Now, we are advocating this. Take the price of the new HDB flats to the cost of a building of the flat, plus a hefty discount on the land prices. Why? This will eradicate the unfair impact of the asset inflation rate, while taking into account of a normal inflation rate through the cost of building the flat. Is it logical? Yes. People can speculate stock prices, people can speculate on property market. But why should our young young children suffers. Let them speculate. But we have to take care of our future generation. Right? Only by doing so, we can secure our future, not PAP's anyhow Kong. Right? So who should you vote? New Solution Party. Our forefathers, my Akong Ama, maybe your Akong Ama, or your fathers, have made sacrifices for this land by giving up their land to the PAP government at the cheap price. You know how cheap it is. It's not square feet, you know. It's per square foot. $1, 70 cents, someone tell me. 70 cents. Used to be 70 cents. Or $1. How much are they selling now? 1 square feet is $200. Add up in 1 million. So, but it's okay. Our forefathers are very good people. They believe in the development of this nation. They make the sacrifices. But don't you think the PAP has the social obligation to ensure Singaporeans, generations after generations, should have the cheap roof over their heads? Do you believe in that? Do you believe that? Vote for who? Now, if you want to secure the future of your children and my children, your grandchildren and my grandchildren, you will have to make a stand on May the 7th. It is very important. We cannot allow this country to turn into a company that tries to profit for these people. When you become a company, the CEO must get $1 million pay. How do they get $1 million pay? How do they make profit? Suck our blood. Right. If you don't want to be enslaved by PAP's 30 or even 40 years mortgage in time to come, please vote. If you don't want your future generation to sell their flat for retirement, you will have to vote. And if you do not want your future generation to continue to be threatened by PAP, which is fast coming God, which we need to repent to, vote more opposition members into parliament. Right. Our futures lies in your hands. My fellow Singaporeans, vote NSP. Your voice, your toys, and your future. Thank you.